What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about 3 ways you can improve your life right this second. So these things you can be doing as soon as you click off the video tomorrow morning. You should pretty much be starting to do these things as soon as possible. So these are things that I've been doing and I still work on, and hopefully you can do the same. I am working on something in the background where it's not just 3 things, but I'm putting together a whole guide about, how to, constantly level up. I'm putting a few gym plans in there, meal plans, just a few mindset things. I'm building this massive thing. So this is just going to be a little fraction of it. We're not focusing on what I'm building, but for this video, it's just 3 things that I've done and that you can do right now to start improving your everyday life. So guys, these are the things we're going to be talking about today. The first one is confidence, second is your environment, and 3 is productivity. So you might have heard people talking about these things before, but hopefully I can go a little bit more in depth about it. I still want to keep the video around 10, 12 minutes long, or else I find it's a bit boring for you guys. But yeah, these are the 3 topics we're going to talk about. I think if you can get these 3 right, or at least improve on these 3, you're going to be well on your way to upgrading your life. So confidence might sound like an obvious one, or you should be more confident. But I really feel it's more of a mental thing. If you can start acting more confident, you're going to be like presumed as more confident from people around you, which is going to make you feel better. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we feel, how to feel more confident. This will, lead to growing and then developing. So I have a quote here before we start. Confidence isn't walking into a room thinking you're better than everyone else. It's walking into a room and not comparing yourself to others. So we can always think, big macho man, oh, I'm in the room, I'm the shit, I'm better than everyone. But, if you can have enough self-confidence, you won't have to worry about things like that. So if you can really, in your own mind, be sort of at peace with how you feel, and be able to feel like you're in a way of control, or you're in a way that you're always able to regulate how you feel or the emotions that you put out. So I feel like this is a great quote for representing the sort of feeling that we're gonna like strive towards. So the way I see confidence and the way I feel it's best to sort of explain this is by looking at a quote by Jordan Peterson. It's actually not a quote, it's a chapter from his first book, 12 Rules of Life. I think it's maybe the 3rd or 4th chapter, but he talks about standing up straight with your shoulders back. So this is pretty much a way to represent yourself. So if you can stand up tall when you're walking around maybe your house, your street, just practicing, pushing your shoulders back, having your chest high, and just looking like a bit of a presence. So this is a great way to sort of perceive that you're confident. And a lot of this is perceived confidence. And if you can do that enough times, you're going to actually gain the real confidence that you need to have. Um, so at the top here, I wrote, at the very minimum, act confident. So if you just pretend at least to act confident, you know, walk with your shoulders back, talk more confidently, don't look at the floor everywhere you walk. Yeah, if you can sort of trick yourself into becoming more confident, yeah, it's a perfect first step. Yeah, it's not something you can switch on, and I say this a lot. A lot of these things people look for like get quick rich schemes where they can look at a title saying how to get more confident, and they think they watch it and automatically it's gonna make them more confident. But I really think for things like this, it's a bit of a process. So these are things you can practice. Look people in the eyes when you talk to them, and stop speaking so much. So a lot of times when you're in a conversation or in a room with people and you're blabbering blah 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 blah, it's a bit of a sign that you're not confident in yourself, or you're over explaining. Sometimes it's better to listen, look people in the eyes, walk with your shoulders back, and at least practice this, and eventually we're going to learn how to, you know, become that confident feeling, without having to sort of practice or pretend it. So your environment is the second one. For a lot of people, this topic can be, a bit touchy, a bit sensitive. I think it's because you have to really judge yourself and judge your situation, and sometimes there's a lot of harsh truths that come out of it. So we got to look at, your friendship groups, your attitude towards your environment, and sort of we got to go back and assess the whole process of, what you being in your current environment is doing for yourself. So I have another little quote here. You become the average of the five most people you hang around with. I think everyone's heard this before. I definitely have. And, whether you like it or not, it's true. So um, me and Patty have moved over to Bali together. And almost immediately you can tell, because we're both here to work and both here to collaborate and we're both here to sort of complete a similar goal. We really have this, driving force that we don't even speak about. When Paddy sees I'm working, it makes him work harder and vice versa. So, um, yeah, I can immediately tell from this move overseas, my sort of work productivity has, hit a new level. And that's not because I've chosen it to, it's just because of the environment that I've set myself up in. So guys, we're going to talk about it a little bit more in depth now. Does your environment allow you to be the best version of yourself? So this often, takes a bit of honesty to really get to the bottom of. So if we go to the first one here, have you ever had a look and wrote down the five people you spend the most time with? So I actually did do this a couple months ago. Obviously, I counted my family just as one person because pretty much all the same, um, as well as my friends. And what I found was the five people I most spent the most amount of time with wasn't actually my like immediate friends. While I was at work, doing my job back home, just spent a lot more time with like my co-workers or even the customers that came in. So when I went back and found the five most people, some were friends, some were from work, some were family. I really had to figure out, are the people around me pushing me to, um, be a net positive or, work productively. And, sometimes it's harsh truth. Sometimes you might have to cut down on time with people. Sometimes you might have to cut people out completely if they're not benefiting you. But, it's something, if you want to be successful, you might have to do. So this is, yeah, I'm talking about surrounding yourself with winners. Um, so the big thing I've been trying to do is network with like-minded, like similar people to me. That way I can ensure that I am going, in the right direction. So what can we do? That's just sort of what I explained there. So lastly, we're going to talk a little bit about productivity. So we'll talk a little bit about how you analyze it, time restraints and activity, or what activity you're doing with your free time. So I do really love this quote. Focus on being productive instead of being busy. Everyone always says, "Oh, I'm too busy. I can't do this. I can't do this." I completely understand. I was in your position. Um, we're just going to be talking about when you have time, how you can be the most productive with that time. So, guys, I really do think productivity can make or break you in terms of achieving your goals, sorry. So I'm going to talk a little bit about time management. So what I had to do was, yeah, I was in your position, don't forget. So I had to figure out how many hours I worked in the week, how many hours I went to the gym, how many hours I spent on my phone, how many hours I took up for eating, making my bed. I did all the things that I had to do, like in order to survive, and then I put them in a column, and then I sort of analyzed this, and I realized shit, I'm wasting so much time on things that mean nothing to me. And that's where we're going to start going in and taking these things out and replacing them with more productive things that are actually going to aid you and your process of, sort of just generally improving. So, um, and for a lot of people, they're going to go through, my brother did this, they're going to go through and say, oh, I worked out all my time and I only worked out, only have 2 hours a day. And I'm like, well, that's fine. So what you can achieve with 2 hours of a productive work without your phone like dialed in, zoned in, is probably the equivalent to what you achieve now in like 4 to 5 hours of work. Maybe you're on your phone, texting, maybe you're eating snacks, trying to work at the same time. If you can just set aside 1 to 2 hours a day and you have no distractions and you're dialed in for those 2 hours straight, you're going to improve so much like you don't even understand. So there's no more, oh, I've got 4 hours spare today, I'm going to do it. And then you're like this and you're texting and blah, blah, blah. If you can spend 2 hours a day, like just spare 2 hours, maybe you switch off your phone for 2 hours, maybe you stop watching Netflix for bed and you just work for 2 hours on something that's going to benefit you. You're going to be so surprised of the results that are going to come with this. And that's pretty much a wrap, guys. I'm not going to make it too long or too in depth. I would like to, but these videos I feel maybe get a little bit boring for your attention span. But your confidence, your productivity, and your environment, if we can start working on these three things, I can almost guarantee you you're going to start feeling better. You're going to start upgrading your life. You're just going to be, chipping away at them every day. So hopefully you learned a thing or two from this video. Let me know if you guys like the PowerPoint setup. I feel like it's just a bit of an easier way for me to sort of set up my videos. I can have cues there so I don't have to be looking at a notebook. But uh, as I always say, check the Instagram in the description. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.